What's going on, guys? Support for today's program is brought to you by Manscaped, the Lawnmower 4.0 and Ultra Smooth package, and they really nailed it this time. So I was using a different trimmer a little while ago, and there was always one area I'd get caught up on and pulling on the hair and bleeding and everything, and it was driving me crazy. I could always have to like baby my way around it. But a couple months ago, I started using the Lawnmower 4.0. I've had no issues. I breezed right through that area. And there's no more cuts, no more nicks, no more bruises. So everything's going really good. Guys, as bodybuilders, we're hairy as hell, and we always got to keep everything in check. And the least you can do is keep your junk in check for the misses. So listen, go to manscaped.com and use code RBP, or go to manscaped.com/RBP and get the 20% off plus free shipping. Guys, the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped has taken off across the globe. Not only in the US, also in Canada, the UK, Australia, and many other countries. Inside the package, you'll get the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker ear and nose trimmer. You guys know you got to keep your ears and nose clean. You'll also get the Crop Preserver ball deodorant and the Crop Reviver toner, Manscaped boxer briefs, and a travel bag, which I love. I think it's leather. It feels actually really good. And it's pretty big, so you can fit all your stuff in there. So listen, guys, go to manscaped.com, use code RBP, get 20% off plus free shipping. Or go to manscaped.com/RBP and get the 20% off plus free shipping. Enjoy it. I know it's going to help you guys out. It helps me. Thanks for watching, guys. Roman, just tell them to go fuck themselves.
Wait. I gotta jump off and then come back on. So
no, you're here on
everybody
time.
Knows today. I was late because I was late.
You're not late. You're on time.
I was technically late to the coming on party.
What's going on, guys? How's everybody?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. Ian, you're fucking 2 weeks out now. Under 2 weeks.
Yeah, like a week and a half. Yeah.
How are you? I know everybody probably asks you this, and everybody. I know I used to hate when people ask me this question too, but I have to ask anyway. Are you excited, nervous? Are you just like doing your work every day? Like it's just a daily thing?
I'm definitely not nervous. It's probably the least nervous I've ever felt going into a show. I feel no nerves or like, antsiness like that at all. It's like a very calm vibe for sure. I'm excited. Huh?
You think that has to do with the people around you? Like where you're situated right now and everything?
No, I think I know where I'm at, and I think I know that I'm going to be good, and I'm just excited and not nervous that there's no fear in my mind that I'm not going to be my best. And I that's really all I can do. Right. So it's like, I don't have any feelings of like, oh, I should have done this, or, oh, I want to be a little better. Oh, I'm just like, this is as good as it gets for me. I've been very excited to show it. And that's kind of the end of it. Yeah.
Are you taking anything mentally? Like mental supplements?
Well, like what?
Medications?
Well, I've taken an SSRI for a long time. Yeah.
When did you start it?
Like not anytime recently.
Oh, okay.
What?
An SSRI.
Yeah. What's that?
Guy's the best. A what?
Go Google it.
Okay. All right. Let's Google just so we get the exact definition. Guy, Ian, are you okay with talking about this?
Of course.
Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors is what it stands for. A widely used type of antidepressant. They're mainly prescribed to treat depression, particularly persistent in severe cases, and often used in combination with a talking therapy, such as a cognitive behavioral therapy. But I know they're also used in cases of anxiety and yes. panic attacks and things like that too. So it's not just.
So is like Xanax considered that?
I don't know if Xanax is, but like Zoloft, Paxil, Zymbalta, like all those kind of stuff. Like a doctor prescribed me Zymbalta, I think, a long time ago, but I never filled the prescription. But I probably should have, looking back at it, because it does help. I know a lot of people who
changed my life, man. Not even joking.
Can you, if you don't mind talking about it, can you tell people how?
Yeah, I mean, I find the biggest thing for me is like I'm someone that like ruminates on small things and like lets them spiral into like really bad thoughts that then end up causing like extreme panic and anxiety to the point that I'll just like shut down and do nothing, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, I found I've just been able to like one, control thoughts and like, you know, analyze them and move past them much more quickly and much more decisively. And I don't like sit there and ruminate on them. Like, so say in the past,
you overanalyze.
Say we would do a podcast. Okay. I would sit after the podcast and I'd be like, fuck, should I have said this? Oh, I shouldn't have said this. Oh, maybe I said this shit. Like, you know, I really, you know, and I sit there and I think, and I look through the comments and, you know, and I'd fucking, you know, just ruminate on these little things like this. Or, you know, I'd meet someone new and I'd shake their hand, introduce myself. I'm like, fuck, did I sound stupid? Like, should I have said that? You know, like I take these little things or, you know, anything like this, and I'll just like go and spiral down, like until just an infinite, you know, level of that. Which now I can control.
Okay, I just want to interrupt for a second because it's an important conversation. Because invariably, every time I talk about anxiety or depression or anything like this on the podcast, I get like hundreds of fucking DMs afterwards, thanking me for being open about it. So because we're talking about it, Guy. Okay, so first I want to say that that's exactly how I am, Ian, because Guy knows, because I pretty much text him after every podcast, and I'm like, should I delete this? Should I delete that? Did it?
Yeah.
So I just want to admit that but people already know I've dealt with anxiety for a long time. But I want to ask, isn't that kind of how everybody is, but to varying degrees? Like, Guy, are you or Roman, do you guys have those thoughts afterwards, or you just like once the podcast is over, you just walk away and don't give a fuck?
Do I have those thoughts, or are you talking about specifically about the podcast?
Not just about the podcast, not just about the podcast, but like when you meet somebody and like if you said the right thing, or like those type of like things he was talking about. You don't have, you're just like, you fucking, it's just like
I shake somebody's hand, they walk away, and I'm like,
and you move on to the next thing.
Which I think is what is normal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Roman. Do you have any of those kind of things?
But hold on. But my issue is when I'm trying to sleep, this doesn't shut down for me.
Oh, sure.
Okay, but that's a separate issue. Because
that's a form of anxiety. I was told.
Well, it could be, but I just want to focus on the like while you're doing your daily activities, because it's a little different. Because when you're trying to go to sleep, if you have anxious thoughts or whatever, you're by yourself, so it's different to be able to control it. You're
asking about social anxiety.
I'm asking more about daily activities, because it's different.
Yeah, and for me, what it'll be like, it'll be things where I like contemplate the future and in like super negative ways, to the point where I can't like do day-to-day things, you know? Like I could have $10 million in the bank and I'd be like, shit, but I got to buy this tomorrow and I got to do this next week. And then, oh, what if this happens? What if my sponsor drops me? What if I hurt my bicep training and then I can't compete for a year? And what if, you know, and then I'll like spiral until I like won't do anything, you know?
Yeah. Roman, you deal with Roman. You probably forget shit the minute after it happens.
That will break you.
Yeah. Roman's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
I used to be a little bit like that. But when I was younger, and not that it has anything to do with age, but I don't have that. For example, on the shit I talk about on this podcast, I mean, I've been pretty open.
Yeah.
At times, you
don't give a shit.
See, and me now, I'll never think about it. Like, we do the podcast now, I can do it, I move on, I enjoy my day, and I find even if I say the most ridiculous things that I'm like, fuck, I really shouldn't have said that, I won't think twice about it.
Yeah, but I think it does, Roman, I think it does have something to do with age, because for me, for example, like I haven't taken any SSRIs or any antidepressants or anti-anxiety pills, whatever you want to call them. And a 20-year-old Fouad, 30-year-old Fouad, and 40-year-old Fouad are all very different.
Very different.
Because I think part of anxiety is learning to deal with who you are as a person.
Yeah.
So I think once you can accept who you are as a person, your anxiety gets a little bit better, because you're not so unsure of yourself all the time.
Yeah.
So like 20-year-old Fouad is way more unsure of himself than 40-year-old Fouad. So it's like, I think age does have something to do with it.
That's funny, because then I'm like right in the middle, because 20-year-old Roman, didn't give a fuck about anything. Then mid-20s, I was pretty shaky with myself.
Actually, that's like, true. You know what? You're right. I was like 20-year-old Fouad was too young and stupid to
too naive.
Exactly.
Yeah. 25 is where it kind of like started.
Yeah. And right now, like
you're a married saint.
30. I'm like, nothing ever bothers me.
Yeah.
You know what? I do get anxiety, which is weird. A lot of times before the gym.
That's a different kind of anxiety.
That's
You think so?
That's
Because,
performance anxiety. That's it.
Sometimes I'm like in my kitchen to get ready for the gym, and I'm like, God, my fucking heart is flying, and it's
Yeah,
not
but
from pre-workout.
That's performance. It's not.
Yeah.
It's different. Yeah, that's actually a good thing. I kind of like that feeling.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. It's almost like a nervous.
It does. I get yeah, but sometimes I don't like that my heart races as it does.
No, the scary thing about anxiety is the uncertainty. Having anxiety before the gym and the performance anxiety is there's nothing uncertain about it. You're like, okay, this workout's going to kill, and you're a little bit nervous and excited, but you're not. You know what's going to happen. Like
there were.
Well, where mine got like to the point where I was like, and this is obviously getting a little dark on this, but obviously I'm sure there's other people that have felt this. And, you know, if you have, maybe it's a good thing you're hearing this. Like when I would go down those roads of like small little things and I would then spiral down the road, I would then eventually get into the place where if I'm like worrying about it so much, I'm like, maybe it's just easier for me to not be around, you know, like maybe it would just be easier if I was just dead, you know, or like these kind of things. I'd start to be thinking like, oh, like I can't, you know, what if I do this and I do this and then, oh, I pull, you know, Melissa is into this and, you know, if I blah, 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 and I do this and then she can't do this, maybe it's just better if I'm not here, you know? So then I would just like, it would go down until it was like,
I know you mean.
I had that when I was in the hospital after the second hip surgery.
Yeah.
You know, I had a balcony that was open.
Yeah.
On a pretty high floor. And I could walk. So I could make my way to the balcony, right?
Yeah.
And all this shit happening and me thinking my career is over. My girlfriend now my girlfriend at the time now has to take care of a cripple. Yeah. And it's probably not going to work anymore. I can't do I can't even fuck. You know what I mean? Like I can't be a man. I can't do nothing. I can't make money. I'm just, I was standing out on the balcony, looking down there, and I had the exact same thoughts. I was like, man, maybe it's better if I'm not around anymore to not, you know, bother anyone.
Well, see, and where it got bad is when it would be like, I would have those thoughts, but it would be over completely inconsequential things. You know, like obviously when something, you know, pinnacle happens in your life like that, you know, it's not normal to have those thoughts per se. Like it's obviously that's not how your brain should process to go down that dark road. But when it's happening, like, you know, like the smallest shit, like I can't even think of an example, but you know, it's something so small, like getting a fucking flat tire and you would go down that road thing like that. Because
it doesn't stay small. That's the problem so I've been where you were and it doesn't stay small. It's like the flat tire turns into, you start playing the story in your fucking head and the flat tire turns into the end of the fucking world.
End of the world. Like, oh my God, I have a flat tire. I got to get the tire fixed. Oh, I can't do this. And I can't do that. And then, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then what if I can't do this? And then, you know, I can't afford to do this. No. And then I'm not going to be able to get here. And I'm not, you know, it's like, you just spiral until you're like, maybe this is just better without any of this, you know?
Yeah.
I think we all have done that at some point, but I think
of course,
the people that do it consistently is where the problem is.
Well, the thing is, when you say all of us do it, it's the same thing as anxiety. I think everybody has some sort of anxiety somewhere, but it's the varying degrees, right?
Yeah.
So everybody may think the things like Iain was talking about or Roman was talking about, but how often and how strong and how much
and your ability to control and measure it, you know?
Yeah.
Where I would get into the point where I just like couldn't even function, period. You know, like I would be in such funks that like I couldn't do anything, you know?
So when I got into those states, I adopted a thing I would just tell myself, I'm like, tomorrow's another day.
Yeah.
I would literally just tell myself tomorrow is another day. I'm like, just get through the rest of today.
Yeah.
And tomorrow is something new that you can focus on. Mm-hmm. And it would actually help me just kind of get out of that funk.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you just stay there and you stay in that fucking, and you're like, my life is over. Everything's going to be fucking horrible. If I just told myself tomorrow is another day, I would give myself a chance to just, okay, I'm going to get through the rest of this fucking today, however bad it is. And tomorrow I can refocus and reset. And that's how I got through a lot of that shit. But, it's tough. It's funny. I was leading somewhere with it, but so me and Paul were talking, I posted a photo from 2014 a couple of days ago on my Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to Paul, we were looking at it and I said to him, if I had only known how good I looked, I probably would have been a better bodybuilder.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of like you talking about how different you were before you took your SSRI. And I wonder, had I taken one, would I have been a better bodybuilder? Because Paul says to me, I think you were better because you didn't know how you looked. And I'm like, I
disagree.
Yeah, that's what I think. Cause I'm like, if I had known how good I looked, I would have been more consistent and more confident
100%.
in my mental. Cause a lot of the reasons why I wasn't consistent at shows were mental, not physical.
100%.
Like I had the drive to do the work. I didn't cheat on my diet and all that shit. It was more mental. My mind would fuck with me before shows. So I told him, I said, had I known I looked like this, I would have focused more. And I don't know what the point I'm trying to get to is. I think what I'm trying to say is like, maybe it's better to look into those things if you need them instead of trying to avoid them.
To put that into an extremely measurable context, I started taking the first this specific SSRI Cipralex after New York Pro last year, and then look at how my demeanor's changed since then.
How I deal with
people online, how I deal with adversity, how my bodybuilding trajectory has changed dramatically since August of last year. You know,
but that's what I was getting
my
at.
ability to even come and do the things like I've been doing, like YouTube and talking to the camera, and like all these things that I now enjoy doing, where before to me were like stressful and anxiety ridden. You know,
are you going to be ever to is that like something you take forever? Do you finally wean off and don't take it? I don't know. I probably should take something.
Honestly, I actually don't know the answer to that. I mean, as of now, it's not. I think I
can touch.
I know nothing about it. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Well, if you have anxiety, like this is the other thing too for people watching this podcast, because most of the people watching this podcast are bodybuilders or want to be bodybuilders. If you have anxiety, steroids are going to make it way worse.
Absolutely.
So it's like anything else with steroids, right? Whatever your personality is,
it just amplifies.
It's going to amplify it. So if you have anxiety, your anxiety is going to become much worse. So I imagine Iain, like post career, maybe in retirement, maybe won't have to take them, or maybe take less, or whatever the case may be,
or just with like simple talk therapy and like and day-to-day meditation-y kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I could probably get off it, but as of the time now, I don't feel I have the tools to cope with a lot of things that I endure in like my career effectively yet.
You know? and you may not. I know guys who are in their 50s who still take
and I mean, like, obviously
anxiety pills.
I'm lucky to have people like Melissa, and like someone who's like very, very understanding of her emotions and her feelings and like things like this. That's good with helping me talk through and work through these things in like a very good, effective manner. But like that can only get you so far when your brain can't function in a certain way. It's like I can understand and conceptualize what she's saying, but then when I put it into practice, my brain just like can't move forward with it.
Yeah, but it's very important to have that partner that understands, because like for me, like I've told you guys the stories of me in summer and having to leave a restaurant because I had an anxiety attack.
Yeah,
it makes your life. So one of the main things about anxiety.
Okay, can I ask a question? Because when you say anxiety attack, this has happened twice to me. It was actually last year, and I don't, because I know when I said before the gym I get anxious, but twice. Once was in the gym, once was not. The first time it happened, I was in the gym and I was getting my shit out of my bag, and I remember I just stood up and I like just was like staring aimlessly, and my training partner was like, "Yo, you're right." And I go, I don't know, man. I go, I feel really fucking weird. And he was like, "You're right." I was like, I don't know. I go, it felt like, I told him, I go, I feel like the only thing that's going to make me feel better is if I physically run through the brick wall in front of me. Like I couldn't, like my heart was racing so fast and I couldn't calm down. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like, I couldn't like calm myself down. And I felt like literally putting my head down and running through the brick wall was the only thing that would make me okay. I said that. I go, I feel like I should run through the brick wall.
Okay. First,
I don't know what the fuck's going on.
First, I just want to say I'm not an expert in this, so I don't want to sit here and diagnose. But
no, I'm just saying, is that something?
Yeah.
Is that what you feel? Because
I mean, that's
somebody
not,
says I have an anxiety attack. I don't. That's the only relation to it. This
is what I feel. If I'm in a situation where I have an anxiety attack, I feel like the only thing that will make me feel better is to get out of that situation and be alone for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, or into just a completely different situation altogether. So like if I'm at a restaurant, I feel like
it's like, and it's in a extreme immediacy. It's like, I need to be out of here right now. Like it has to be now. It can't be like 2 minutes while you pay the bill. It's like, I have to be out of here this millisecond.
And what happens if that doesn't happen?
It escalates. The panic builds, the panic builds, the panic builds.
Dude, for me, it's like, so before I was comfortable enough to talk about it, I would try and hide it. So I'm sitting with my brother at lunch one day, I think. I can't remember. I started having an anxiety attack, and he looked at me and he said to me, "Are you still here?" Like it was almost like I was looking through him because I was in my own head, right?
Yeah.
And then I was trying to control it, and I just started sweating. Like I got really uncomfortable. I started sweating. I couldn't even hear what he was saying anymore. It was just like noise in my ear.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, you're fucking, it looked like, he's like, you look like you're doing cardio. Like it was just dripping.
Yeah.
Right?
Crashing from insulin.
So I finally snapped. I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here, man. He's like, go. He's like, go outside. So I got up and I fucking went outside. And it wasn't until I literally walked outside the door that like this calm came over me. And it took me like 5 or 10 minutes to completely go back to normal. But like, I had to get out of the fucking situation. I just I couldn't sit there anymore for whatever reason. I can't explain it. I don't know if it's because eyeballs are on me or whatever the fuck it is, but it's a kind of feeling where you just have to get away from everything. And it got to a point where in my life, wherever I went, I would find an exit or a cool place to sit before I walked. But when I walked in the door of whatever place I was going to, I already knew where I was going to go if I had to get out of a fucking situation or whatever it was. Right? It's really
like the airplane attendant. There's an exit here, and here. There's an exit at the back of the
Listen, man, it's not a fucking good feeling. Like, and I dealt with it for a long time. So, and so I know what Ian's going through, and that's why I asked you. I said, has it been a long time? Because to me, that's not a long time, because I have noticed a difference from New York last year to this year. So that's why I asked. So it's definitely made a big difference. But anyway, we've gone down a rabbit hole here. I just it was something I wanted to touch on real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. In lighter news, did any of you watch the fight?
You look like you're about to make a TikTok video. What are you doing?
Look, who's the jack chick behind you, Ian? Holy shit. Look at the shoulders and arms. Holy fuck. What's going on?
What's up?
Oh, nothing. Just took a shower,
When are we gonna do a real bodybuilding podcast? One-on-one to talk about your career?
Tomorrow?
I can't tomorrow, but we'll figure one out in the next couple of weeks.
Let me know.
All right, cool. What was I gonna say? Yeah, did you guys watch any of the fights?
Which ones?
The old man fighting on Triller.
I watched the UFC guy
Anderson Silva fight Tito Ortiz.
I watched Anderson Silva and Ortiz, and I watched
Holyfield and Belfort and
those two.
Belfort,
They were both quite hard to watch.
So I didn't want to pay the money to watch it because I'm like, this is just like these people are all fucking old and like
it was bad to watch. I mean, Anderson Silva was okay. Yeah, he was the only one that seemed like he knew how to box the whole thing.
Yeah. But I'm like, I guess the question. Go ahead. What's his name again? I can't remember.
Vitor Belfort?
No, the other one.
Tito Ortiz or
Tito Ortiz.
Yeah,
he could not his boxing was awful, man.
Well, I mean, Anderson Silva is known as a striker, so boxing for him is like normal, whereas Tito Ortiz was more of a ground and pound guy. So
yeah, and Holyfield looked like he had the mechanics there, but the second he got hit, like you could tell he was older. He hadn't been hit by a young gun who could really throw a hard punch, and it just like completely flustered him, and he just went down.
I just wonder how long the fucking facade is going to continue.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. The whole Triller thing. It's just like isn't it going to get kind of fucking old? Like all these old guys are fighting, and it's like, come on, really? Like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, as long as there's iconic names putting their names in a bout, people are going to pay to watch it. They're going to want to see. They want to see a spectacle, whether it's them getting their ass kicked and embarrassing themselves, or coming out there and fucking, showing signs of their old glory days. Either way, people want to see a spectacle like that.
Yeah, but that would be like me and Guy putting on a bodybuilding show. It'd just be me and him. It's like two old guys fucking posing down. Nobody wants to watch that.
I mean, it is, but it isn't because
you would have at least a nice silver trophy to hang in your room.
Because fighting is different, like something about fighting, people will always be interested to see. And when people are out of their primes or out of their careers, it almost makes it more interesting for a lot of people.
I just can't watch old guys.
It's less predictable.
Like watching Tito Ortiz.
It's like a pity bouncing event. It's like.
Oh, Tito was so awkward to watch, man.
And then same thing with our Evander. He just looked so slow, and he just I don't know, man. It's like you remember these guys from their glory days, and you're like,
it's like, do you want to be remembered? Is he going to be remembered for his glory days, for this fight, or both?
He'll be remembered for his glory days.
I still think he'll
Evander, but yeah.
But I'm saying, do you think people are going to also be like, yo, remember the time he fucking fought when he looked like shit and got his
Some people will, but I don't think for someone like Evander, this will really taint his career.
No, Yeah, I agree with Ian on that. But I also wonder, there's kind of a shitty thing about it too, where you're like, did Evander spend all his money and that's why he's fighting like he's doing this now? And it kind of makes you feel bad for him. You know what I mean? Like, does he need to do this for the money kind of thing?
I think some of these guys, these older guys, think they still have it and they want to like throw their name in there and make some money as well, you know?
Yeah.
See, I was smart enough to know when I didn't have it.
That's how I am. People are like,
but I mean, the thing is too, like, the thing is too, for a boxing match like this, if they offer you $10 million, and even if you know you're going to get your ass kicked, it's like,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's true.
Like, I'm Evander Holyfield. I've had my ass kicked in my prime. I'm an old man now. Nobody expects much from me. Like, you know, if I make 10 mil, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Oh, listen, I'm right there with you. I wouldn't turn down the 10 million whether I was
going to ask you that, guy. So let's say like Jim Mannion calls you tomorrow. Let's say Jim Mannion calls you in 5 years and you're like,
he's like, I want you to fight Craig Titus.
No, not fight. No, I want you to go on stage and compete again. And you're like, total shit. You haven't worked out in 5 years, but I'll pay you $1 million. Would you do it?
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sign me up. And who I got to compete against? Fouad Abiad? Done.
You know, I think I should compete again just so I can beat you and shut you up.
Who said I'm competing against you?
You're going to compete if I compete. Just so we can compete.
So I got to do an open.
Let's both do Toronto, and we'll solve this problem once and for all.
How about we call Jim Mannion?
I'll be 13th and you'll be 14th, and we'll just walk away.
Can we have the retired Olympia? We should call Jim. Like, listen, we do not the Masters, the retired Olympia for all the guys that are retired and don't compete anymore.
Seth Ferosi will win. Seth Ferosi will win the retired Olympia.
He's too young. He doesn't count.
Seth is the best retired physique there is.
He's crazy.
Right? I would agree. Yeah.
Jeff Long's been looking pretty good lately too, though. But
I think given 2 years or 18 months, Jay Cutler could look pretty good.
I always wonder about that, because he still looks round and like he looks pretty
still
good.
Has
they
the big
told me to
structure.
tell you hi. I was on the phone with him for an hour before we
had to say, tell me hi.
Yeah.
Tell me, say what's up.
Or he still looks like he's got a big structure. He's, he looks very healthy. His skin's nice. Like, his skin doesn't look like, saggy and old. Like, I think if he, with very minimal performance enhancing drugs could look pretty decent, We
were actually talking to Ian about the skin thing today. He was like, because I was going over like what he does and like eats and takes, now that he's like retired and shit. And he was like, the only thing is, bro, he's like, remember I'm 48. He was like, my skin ain't the same.
Yeah.
He's like, at 48 years old, he's like, the one thing that doesn't he goes, that changes that you can't fucking do anything about.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
but his for his age is still very good.
Oh, dude.
Can I tell you that's the only thing I don't like about getting older? I understand the cheeseburger tits. No, because I understand, like, I know I'm going to shrink, but there's nothing you can do about the droopy skin around your nipple. You're like, fuck, I get cheeseburger tits. And you see it on every retired bodybuilder. They have that, like,
that line will never get fucking old with me. I'm cheeseburger. Every time I can say it before you, I'm cutting you off.
Roman, what are you eating? What is that slop? A big pile of rice and what?
Rice, pasta, and some turkey.
Yeah. Exactly. It's rice, pasta, and fish, since I can't eat meat anymore.
Why can't you eat meat?
Why?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we started talking about that. Wait a minute. So what is there some like scientific thing behind the rice and the pasta, or is it just like, why do you keep
carbs?
mixing it?
He told us.
Yeah, but why don't you just put more
podcast?
Yeah, but why don't you just put more rice? I don't get it.
There's no science behind this.
No.
Just
you like it. You like the mix.
And melange.
Here's a wait. I'm looking for.
How much pasta don't you put in there if you're fucking scavenging for it?
Yeah, what is there? Like 2 noodles in there?
This is a green. Because you can't see it. It's trapped in the rice. You know what I mean? See, if I hold this up, it looks like rice, right?
Yeah, it's hard to see on the camera. Yeah,
but it's not. It's pasta.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so what about the other? So Conor McGregor went after Machine Gun Kelly. Did you guys see this?
I saw that. Yeah.
He threw a drink at him, right?
So there's two stories. So the story.
Who? Machine Gun Kelly?
Yeah, the rapper, dude. The shitty rapper.
Look how Roman said.
And he's not even. That's not. Wait a second. That's a rapper.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't consider him.
I thought it was his nickname as a boxer because he has like fast Fist.
No.
That'd be a good name though.
What would you call him? He's not a rapper. What would you call him?
I mean, a lot of his music is like kind of rock and stuff now.
I don't
Like,
even listen to his fucking music, so I don't really know.
Oh, Roman. I
don't know what I consider him, but I just he's a music artist.
A
Yeah.
music artist. So, anyways, there's two stories though.
Is he black? Is he black?
No, he's white.
No, he's white.
He's
White.
baby.
And he's
That's a
white.
baby's ass.
Here, I'm gonna show you who he is, Roman.
He's dating Megan Fox.
He's
Yeah.
tatted up all over, blonde hair. Looks like a
And he's
tall,
probably skinny as
M&M.
fuck, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now he's even more mad. He's skinny as fuck. All right. So this is Machine Gun Kelly.
Real
He's
gas.
funny as shit though. I like him.
Come on.
He looks like Billy Idol.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, he does there. Yeah.
So apparently the story is that Conor went up to get a picture with him. He asked him for a photo, and Machine Gun Kelly said no, and kind of bumped him a little bit, I guess, that maybe as he's turning around, and he kind of spilled his drink, and then Conor freaked out.
Shocker.
But Conor's story is like, I don't even know who the fuck that guy is. I don't even know what he's talking about, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, I don't know.
Then
who
why
to
did he throw a drink on him?
I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, Conor's statement was, I don't even know who that guy is. I only fight real fighters, blah, blah, blah. Never said anything about the previous stuff. But the other story is Conor asked him for a photo and he said no. And I'm like, it kind of makes more sense because I'm like, why the fuck would he throw a drink at him and get pissed off?
Yeah. I wonder why MGK said no as well.
That's also what I'm wondering too, right? Like,
what's the beef there that he's like, fuck you, no, you know?
But the crazy thing is, I don't know if I can't show the video because it'll like demonetize my video. But
What happens if?
so when he threw his drink at the guy, Conor slipped and then had to catch himself with his foot that he broke.
Yeah.
Remember he broke his ankle like I
Yeah.
don't know how long ago that was now, 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Not even.
So I'm like, he could have fucking re-injured himself at this fucking just doing this dumb thing at a fucking on a red carpet.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like,
move.
I don't know, man. Is he falling off? Is this like the end of Conor because he keeps losing fights and he's just like, now people are like, they don't want to take photos with him?
Yes. All he should be doing is Triller fights now.
Shut up. Seriously. No, seriously.
Fighting Evander Holyfield and Jake Paul, and that's about it.
Look, not that Conor cares because he's a fucking multi-millionaire, but like, can he come back to the UFC and be good?
Yes, but not be a champion.
You don't think he'll ever be champion again?
Absolutely
How
not.
old is he? How old
He's
is
not
he?
that old.
He's younger than us. Definitely younger than
He's
Fouad.
mid-30s. Yeah.
You're such an asshole, guy. You're not that much younger than me. I don't know.
4 years.
Huh?
3, 4.
4.
That's a long time. It's fucking all high school.
He's
Think about
33.
that.
He's 33.
Yeah.
Young.
Like me?
He's
He can
Roman's
come
age.
back.
He's
He
still.
can come back.
I think he can come back physically, but I think he's
Physically, sure, but that's
Physically, the fact they're eating that with a spoon makes me want to beat the living shit out
Well,
of
he
you.
was eating with a fork. I don't
No,
know why
I
he
was
changed
just
it.
I just switched because
What is this fucking merry-go-round with fucking musical fucking silverware?
no.
Pick
You
one,
use
bro.
the right utensil for the right moment.
Insane.
You know?
What are you sitting at a
Exactly.
fucking proper restaurant?
Yeah.
I also have a little spoon.
Why did you switch from a fork to a spoon? This is interesting.
Because he was eating
Because-
pasta, now he's eating rice.
No,
It's
the
mixed
fish
in, Ian.
the fish fell apart,
Uh,
and now it's like flaky.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted to be faster to be on the podcast again.
Your food is looks so dry, dude.
It is.
It was like you're eating sawdust.
do you put no
Yeah.
sauces on your food ever?
You put any condiments or anything?
So much work.
Just to add
It's
some
It's like
condiments.
sriracha or something.
No,
Just
you
fucking-
use that bolognese fucking spice. That
Spice.
Italian
That powder.
That
No,
that fake Italian
fucking powder.
nonsense.
The powder makes it worse. I tried that.
Are
Because
you,
the powder-
I know the real reason you don't add condiments. It's the calories because you're crazy.
No.
Seriously.
And if I was crazy, I would just calculate the calories into the, you know. But
You would
seriously,
calculate and take out the food.
yeah,
All right.
maybe. No,
So
no,
you-
this is 150 carbs and 70 grams of protein.
Do any of you guys, Fouad or any of you, Guy, do you guys cut your condiments or anything like that before shows?
Not really. No.
I
don't
can't
really-
say no right now.
I literally use ketchup once a day, and then the rest is usually when I diet mustard.
Doesn't that fuck with your, like, don't you get acid reflux or anything like from all the mustard?
I mean, how much mustard do you use?
I don't know if you're using it on like 5 of your meals.
Well, no, because I have a post-workout shake, breakfast, that's 2. Before I go to bed is usually a shake or eggs. So it's like 3 meals.
You know what's funny? Actually, before shows, I use more condiments or I start using condiments eventually because I always load on burgers and stuff.
Yeah.
So all the clean eating goes out the window the day before the show or the 2 days before.
You're the only one that can do that, though. I don't think, well, not the only one that can do it, but you probably need it, whereas the rest of us don't.
Oh, sorry.
Remember, Ian, remember when we used to argue with this Donnie Kanganovic?
I know. I was just telling this story to someone the other day about it backstage at Spain there when he was telling us about his carb up and you like shit on him.
What happened?
What happened?
So
I can't remember. He was saying something. He would carbon up on something, and Roman's like, "No, very bad idea." You know, the guy was like, "No."
Listen, it was like that. Okay, so we're standing there, and he's a good guy. No offense there, right? So he's standing there, and he is telling me about how he carbs up with pasta.
Yeah.
So I told him, man, if you eat that much pasta, because he said he's eating 1,000 grams of pasta,
your stomach's gonna be fucked.
Yeah. So that's what I told him. And then he said, so what are you guys carbing up with? Like aggressive. You know?
Yeah.
And we said, yeah, I just had a burger. And then he's like, you can't have burgers. You can't have burgers to carb up.
He's like, why would you eat this?
Yeah.
You should have looked at him and been like, know what I'm carbing up with?
Well, you want to hear the irony of this whole situation.
Yeah. Let me get to it. Then Ian says, man, I've never looked worse because of having a burger before a show.
Yeah.
And he insists on, no, you can't carb up on burgers. Yeah. And you're gonna get your waist is gonna blow out, blah blah. And then and Ian, you said, man, he's talking about the 2 smallest waisted guys in the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next day he's not in the show.
Because he had digestive distress, his stomach was all fucked up from all the pasta.
From all the pasta. Holy
wow, what's up, Karma?
Holy shit. I think everybody has done a burger. I think one of my best fucking carb ups ever was me and Chad did a burger one meal, and then we did chicken and potato the next meal, and we alternated like that for 3 fucking days straight.
Yeah, I don't do any dirty stuff like that anymore because we've got down a system that's obviously working very well. But I mean, I did it with Matt. I did it with guys before that and with good success. I mean, it depends. If you're in really good condition, you can do these things, right? If you're not in good shape, obviously you should not be throwing in stuff.
If you're peeled, you can eat whatever you want. You just got to pay attention to your fucking.
Yeah, if you're talking about the dryness and condition that Roman and I get in, you can fucking do it, and those calories get used well. But I even made a post about this morning on my story, and I was like, seeing people like 3, 4, 5 weeks out, they're still doing weekly cheat meals of like burgers and fries and sushi and pizza when they're not even in shape, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing this for? Like, you need to be dieting harder, like not eating fucking cheat meals,
Yeah.
And maybe doing a high day if you need like to stimulate things a little bit because things aren't moving, and you've been pushing really low and you just need to, give things a little stimulation. But eating a burger and fries and something with a bunch of fat and salt that's going to stick around and slug you down for 2-3 days is absolutely not the fucking answer,
Well, I just want to counter that with something. Everything we're saying depends on your coach and the system they have in place.
Sure.
Right. Like for example, Ian, your coach, Patrick, is like, let's maximize the clean food to the very, very most possible. Yeah. And then lose fat that way without giving you anything shitty unless you absolutely need it, which is probably never. Yeah. Right. And even even carb loading, even though you do get absolutely shredded, he would still never give you a burger because he's like, let's fill you with the cleanest stuff possible.
Yeah.
So every coach is a little different, right? But then you have somebody like John or like Chad who's like, let's burn through most of the fat during the week and let's give you something on the weekend to load you back up.
Yes, but I'm not disputing the tactic. I'm disputing the fact that you're not in good shape and still doing these things.
If you're not losing any weight at all, then yes. But I would be doing like John, for example, would have me doing like
my point was strictly about people being behind conditioning wise and still having weekly cheat meals of
and those are those people that have like those fucking diets that are like set up for like 3 weeks ahead of time with like no changes in them. Like if you're like if you have a
Yeah.
plan that's set up for weekly cheat meals, that's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking like you're 2, 3, 4 weeks behind in your prep, and your coach is telling you to have weekly cheat meals of Five Guys or pizza or things like this,
I can agree with that.
it's not going to end well for you. I can tell you that.
Or it's because you're not mentally tough enough to handle not dieting.
Well, I think this is a thing now that it's a ploy with a lot of coaches because they want to appease the minds of clients, and that becomes over everything.
But
Instead of having people suffer and die and just like do anything they can to get in shape.
Isn't the point of what we do to be able to do what not a lot of people can, and is to suffer and do that without?
Wait a minute. No. Just wait a minute. There's no need. Okay, suffering is such a
relative,
such a wide open word.
Yes, it's very relative.
So like, I agree with Ian about this. If you're behind, your weekly cheat meals definitely should stop.
That was my point.
Yeah. But just to further the point a little bit, because the guy was saying if you have weekly cheat meals scheduled ahead of time, then that doesn't make sense. And what I'm saying is,
I said if it's because you meant to. But I also prefaced with, if it's because you just mentally are not tough enough to do it.
Yeah, that's also wrong.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I also agree with that,
some people do need them.
Yeah.
Weekly.
I also don't think like anything like this you can plan in advance. It needs to be.
That's what I would.
Like your coach says, one cheat meal every week. It's like, well, what if I don't need it one week? What if I need two in 1 week? What
That's
if
why I said if it's a plan
6 in 1 week? You know?
That's right. Yeah, I agree with that.
So we're all in agreement.
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
Yeah. Roman, what's
so before we change the subject?
Yeah,
I gotta say, Donnie, no offense taken, okay? Next time I'll treat you to a burger.
I thought you said you didn't think about things after you said them.
Donnie, next time I'll give you a jar of my fucking sauce for all that pasta.
He just wants to help Danny out, man. That's it.
Fucking guy cooked like 8 tomatoes or 10 tomatoes, and he got like 3 little jars of pasta out of it. And I'm like, is it really worth all that work?
First of all, did we was it you that I talked about this with or no?
Yeah, we talked on the phone.
It was because that was the end of the season, and that was all the tomatoes I had left.
I know, but is it worth?
So I tried to salvage the rest of my tomatoes to make a video. Normally, you can go to the store and buy tomatoes, but I wanted to show how it does from the garden. Whether there's 50 tomatoes there or fucking 15, the sauce is made the same way, just the ingredients amounts are different. But the process is exactly the same.
What I'm trying to say is, like, is it worth all that work rather than just buying the finished pasta sauce?
You are such a fucking lazy son of a bitch. It's disgusting.
To you, no. Yes.
It's so much work.
I hope at some point in your life, everything just shuts down where you have to like live off.
But this is like asking Fouad. This is like asking Guy or I or someone that hunts, like, well, I can just go buy a steak from the fucking.
No, that's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Is it worth sitting in the house for 3 days to see nothing potentially? You know?
No, that's not the same thing, because I think the act of hunt. Well, actually, I'll make this point. So when I cook, if I was going to make pasta sauce, I would do it. I do cook for fun sometimes. It's not something I want to do all the time. So I might make sauce like once a year just to do it for fun. I felt like doing it. Hunting is also like the act of going hunting. I haven't done it, but it sounds like it'd be fun. So it's like, it's not the same as just going to buy a steak. There's a whole process of hunting.
Oh, wait, let me ask you a question. Why do you go to restaurants to eat? Ian, I got this one, buddy. Let me handle this.
What are you trying to trap me?
Yeah, I'm just trying to prove a point. Why do you go to restaurants to eat?
Because I like people to cook my food for me sometimes.
Because
sometimes it's better than the way I cook it.
Because sometimes it's better. Okay, they're fucking Emeril Lagasse, relax.
Well, I think I like my food when I cook. I'm pretty proud of the way I cook.
If you get fresh food, is always tastes better than fucking processed or frozen shit.
100%.
So if I have the option of, and listen, if it was a fucking agonizing process and it took such a long time to do, then maybe I wouldn't do it. But you're literally talking, once the tomatoes are grown, the whole fucking process takes 30 minutes from the start till the time it's in the pot, and it sits there for hours and fucking.
It's also like you know, you said like hunting sounds fun to some people. Creating things from scratch, even if it seems monotonous, is fun.
Well, that's what I said. Once a year, I could do something like that just for the fun of it. Yeah.
Well, like, you know, I have like my buddy Dylan that, you know, will fucking grow a bunch of herbs and vegetables in the garden, and he eats none of them. Zero. Doesn't eat any of it. He just does it, and then he'll give them away or throw them out.
90% of the stuff that I do, I give to all my neighbors and my friends at the gym.
Yeah.
It's just like something I enjoy doing.
Does it make you feel good? Does it make you feel good to give them that shit?
I just enjoy the process of doing it.
No.
Yes.
I know.
And
So
I
you
like-
enjoy the process of growing it, but do you actually enjoy the process of giving it to them?
Yeah, because I like to take care of people, but I like to give it to them, and then I'm like, how was it? I want to know if it's good or bad. Like I want to know the feedback. I'm like, is it good?
What
The
if they're
old
like, what if
lady-
they're like your tomatoes suck?
Well, that's never happened because that's silly.
The old lady that lives next to us does the same thing.
What
Makes sauce and gives it to
she
you?
grows.
Yeah, she cooks stuff and then gives it to us.
That's great.
I have a jar of pickles for you in my freezer or my fridge.
I just grow weed.
Send it,
That's it.
send
You
it.
grow your own weed?
Yeah.
You and Paul would get along. Paul's got like a weed tent that he's super proud of.
Yeah, we grow weed.
Hey, I want to see that my wheat tent.
He does. When he first put it up, he's like, "Come see my
and just
come
and
see my
just a
tent."
note-
I'm like, "Nah, I don't
And
care."
just a note for the feds watching this, I'm talking about in Canada, in Ontario, not in Florida. I grow weed where it's legal.
Where
in
it's
Canada.
legal, yes, definitely.
Oh man, I should have visited when you offered me.
Yeah, we got lots of weed growing there now.
That's so funny because when I was in Canada, I'm not going to say who, but a certain IFBB pro brought me some stuff. And I was like, I thought weed was fucking illegal in Canada. And he was like, no, because Flex had an issue when he had CBD coming through customs. So I was like, how the fuck is weed legal here? CBD is fucking illegal. And he
No,
was like,
CBD is legal in
CBD is
Canada.
illegal. I was like, really?
No, CBD is completely legal in Canada.
I think it's
This
bringing
was
it-
a couple
bringing it
years
over-
ago. It
but I
wasn't.
think maybe a couple years ago it wasn't, but it's also bringing stuff through the border is sometimes tricky.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, no.
Yeah.
So the bodybuilder from there told me that at the time when I was there, that CBD was 100% illegal at least where I was. In
It probably
Canada,
was a couple years ago, Ian.
but THC wasn't. I was like, really? I said it's polar opposite of the states.
I don't know if
Yeah.
that makes sense. I think both would have been illegal if anything.
No,
I think both of them.
I had this exact.
Yeah, but he might have been wrong. He
Conversation.
might have been wrong, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
maybe
but I remember CBD being legal before weed was legal.
yeah, it was.
See, weed's not legal, or weed's not like legal here, but you can like drive around with up to 6 ounces and not get in trouble. My
Yeah,
buddy
so
who's
you
a
can
cop,
grow-
like,
You
Go
can
ahead,
grow
Ian.
4 plants. Like in Ontario, where I'm in, you can have 4 plants for personal use.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And you can go on like, you know, a website and just order weed and ship it to your house. You know.
that's awesome.
Speaking of giving people stuff, not that I gave anybody anything, but I actually when I put up my gym, so I put up my gym a little while ago in my brother's facility where his plant is for his business. And part of the deal was that his employees would be allowed to use the gym. And I thought to myself at the beginning, I'm like, I don't really want anybody using my stuff because I was being a selfish little prick. And, and then, so the other day I go to the gym early. I was there at like 11:30 and they train there on their lunch hour. So they all come in, there's like 6 of them or whatever. And I actually felt really good. It made me really happy. So
Why?
that's-
Because
keep using your
you were
stuff.
finally the biggest guy in the gym.
Guy, you're half my size. Don't forget, okay? Take it easy.
What? I'm half your height.
You're half my size everywhere. Anyways,
Right.
so no, it felt good because they were using my stuff. I'm like, and they were having like a good workout and shit. I was like, yeah, it was like kind of cool. It made me want to open a public spot because I've always been uneasy about the public thing. And I'm like, I think I want to open a public space now because it felt good that people were in there
It
training.
does feel good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I was more selfish than that, but apparently I'm not.
No.
So that's why I was asking you about the growing tomatoes and giving them to people.
I have neighbors that are like older, like in their 70s that like, it's almost like having my grandparents back because they're like so old.
Yeah.
So I just like, I don't even knock half the time. I just literally put it in a bag, leave it on their doorknob and just get in my truck and leave. And then I have their numbers. I'll be like, Joan, I left you a sauce on your door.
See, I wish I was nicer to my neighbors. I'm not.
I wish I lived next to you. I'd be such a I'd be mowing my yard fucking.
I'm
every
not
day.
mean. No, wait. I'm not mean. Okay, wait. I'm not mean to my neighbors. I just don't have that relationship.
I
Like,
know.
we just
with
like
the
we wave,
people
we
that
like we wave
surround-
hello and that's it. Like, hey, how's it going? And that's the
Everybody that surrounds me, I don't see, and the people that I knew moved. So
Ian, how
I
are
talked
you?
to my
You talk to your neighbors?
Yeah, I live in like a older, you know, like a fancy suburb, you know, kind of country suburb. And we are relatively friendly with all our neighbors. Like my neighbor on the one side, I believe, I don't want to like, not that she would ever watch this, but there's two women that live there, and I believe they're a lesbian couple. And they're like in their 50s, like mid 50s. And like, we're cool, you know, like I'll cut her lawn and, you know, she's away, or I'll go spray the weed stuff.
Yeah, I've done that stuff before. Cool. Yeah.
You know, and the other lady is an Asian lady with and her husband, and they're like probably in their 60s. And she's funny. Like, she'll see the weed plants in the backyard and she'll come want to talk and know about them and know. She'd be like, "Ooh, like, are these hard to grow?" kind of thing, you know. Like,
are you gonna give her some?
I mean, she asked. I'd fucking
give her some. Give her a joint.
Here's a nug.
I mean, what the hell do you think we do with fucking 4 plants, man? I can't smoke that much. We end up having like stockpiles, you know.
Yeah. Roman, how are you?
No, we got cool neighbors for sure.
How are you with your neighbors?
Oh, they're cool. The old lady that lives next door. You know, last time there come a salesman was coming to our house. You know, he was like wanted to sell us something. I don't know.
You going there now?
So I just trained, and I saw her talking to the guy, and she couldn't get rid of him. Yeah. So I just trained. You know, I was all pumped up. I come out of my gym. I'm like, "What is it?" Oh. And he's like backing off 2 steps from her. He's like, he's like, "Would you stop bothering her?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry." And then he left.
Protecting the neighbors, eh?
You're fucking.
I mean, I'm cool with my neighbors. It's just I don't have like long conversations. I felt bad though. Guy, two doors over, came over to talk. So we shooting the shit a bit about his house and whatever. We're talking. So then it was the first time I had met him, because he stays in Florida most of the time. So he goes back home, and then later on that day, my Ring doorbell goes off. Me and Summer are out. And I'm like, "Oh, I better check who's at the door." So I answer on my phone, and it's his wife, and she's got a basket full of like muffins that she made for us. I'm like, "Hello." She's like, "Oh, I'm just, you know, so-and-so's wife. I brought you something to say hello. And
nice.
Welcome to the neighborhood."
Leave it at the steps.
I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. You know, me and my wife are out." I'm like, "You know, I'd love to meet you tomorrow or whatever." And she never came back. And I'm like, "Oh, fuck." I'm like, so now I don't know what the etiquette is. Like, do I go
you should
there?
Drop off a fucking bouquet of something, like a fruit basket.
Do I go to her house?
Get him like a nice basket too, and be like, you know, blah blah blah. Just say
get
hi.
Get them an edibles arrangement. Watch until they leave their house. Wait 10 minutes. Ring their doorbell. Wait for them, and then don't leave it.
Yeah.
Get them.
But then are the rest of the neighbors going to be jealous? Because I've never brought anybody else anything.
Unless they're stalkers and they're actually paying attention to what you're
But they
doing.
also didn't attempt to bring you anything. She did. So,
you know, a couple of them did. But I didn't know you were supposed to reciprocate that kind of thing.
No,
I don't know. Wait,
if you're the one new to the neighborhood.
So hold on. I got to hear this. So all your neighbors brought you shit to your house.
No, two.
And you haven't brought one fucking thing back to them, you selfish son of a bitch.
Okay, wait a minute. Listen.
This is amazing.
Wait a minute. I live in a court with like, I don't know, 7 houses, right? It's like us and like 6 other houses.
He just tried. This is why he let people train at his gym, for all the selfish shit he's done in his life. He's like, maybe if I let a couple people train in the gym, I'll be forgiven.
2 houses brought some stuff over. But I don't know the fucking rules. I don't know if you're supposed to bring stuff back. Like, I don't know.
Roman houses too?
No, I think if you're the one new to the neighborhood, you do not need to reciprocate that.
See, that's what I thought. What the fuck? Why am I bringing them shit? I'm like,
it's like a thank you. I mean, it's a thank you. Like with the older neighbors that I met, when I dropped off pickles and sauce, she dropped off a huge thing of fucking brownies. I've been here for 5 years. No, I mean 4 years when that happened.
All right, you know what I'm gonna do?
If you're someone like Guy or or me or someone, you grow some vegetables and someone comes and gives you a gift basket, you say, "Hey, I'm growing some stuff. I'll drop you off some next time." But I don't think in a case of you being new to the neighborhood, you're not expected to reciprocate.
And I'm gonna move right next to you, and then I'm just gonna give you sauce and pickles all the time, and just give me joints.
Are you gonna blow them too?
Well, just like.
Are you gonna Are you gonna get on your fucking knees and be like, "Thanks"?
That might be
nice.
Nice.
Just go fucking.
Because you're fucking like.
Because
you're like, I'm gonna move next to you and give you vegetables.
Because we're nice.
It was a bartering system.
Neighbor not giving presents back.
Yeah, it's like Christmas every couple days. You can't go wrong with that.
You know what I'm gonna do?
Fouad,
yes.
You should use this court as a, like a, no, what's it called? Like a group of people that you can test your supplements with. Every time you want to test a new flavor, you give each of those people.
Yeah, but they're all normal. They're gonna think it's gross. Normal people don't like
around. in a fucking
want free
apron with your
stuff.
cheeseburger tits out, holding a tray of all different flavors and stuff and going around your neighbors, asking them to try 1, 2, or 3.
Now I got the
What
word.
a
It's called a
hostile-
think tank.
What do you say, Roman?
You just it's called like a think tank. You know, you just
I got you. Yeah.
make a monthly meeting. You call all the neighbors. You have them test all you
Like
have
a
them
block
test
party.
the H1 flavors or the bloodshot flavors.
It would be like
Something like
it would
that.
be like book club, you know. You just get together, talk about books, but instead you get together and talk about your supplements.
I
and
don't
they
think
give
I'm
you
going to be
feedback.
that kind of neighbor ever. I don't think I'm that kind of neighbor. I don't think I can.
And then
but
you can even start them on like like Tupperware does. You sell them product and
But with supplements?
you teach them how to sell them to their neighbors. And
so Roman
all
has
the-
taken like a kind gesture and turned it into a business.
Yeah,
You know what you should do for your neighbors? You should get a hostile shirt and like roll it up like a newspaper and put like roll like a amino in and put it in each of your neighbors' mailboxes.
Exactly. The one that
people
says
are
real
like
shit.
60. There's people are like
with a business card. Put a business card there too.
Yeah.
these are like 70-year-old people. I don't think they want aminos. I do think.
Well,
it's
no, you just got to market it right. You tell them that, hey, you're getting old, your muscles withering away. This is going to stop that.
Let's get more sales.
Exactly.
The first day they take it, they have a heart attack.
No.
No stims. No stims.
The old men, you're gonna give them the pump product, so they can get a hard on again.
Yeah.
Bloodshot. We'll do that. Yeah.
Bloodshot. Yeah. Give them some
Yeah,
bloodshot.
that's a good idea. No, I think I'm gonna get muffins.
I know all your products. I'm not even sponsored.
Maybe we should talk about that.
You'll
Might
have
have
Roman
to.
going door to door in your
Yeah,
neighborhood.
Roman will go door to door on my house. Yeah.
People will buy because they're be afraid to be killed.
I think I'm gonna do the muffin thing. For
Well,
Guy.
that's it.
Guy's
Are
right.
you gonna make the muffins?
No, I'm not gonna make the muffins. I'm gonna go buy
No,
a
you
bunch
gotta
of
make
muffins.
Dunkin' Donuts.
I'm not gonna make the muffins.
You can't
Are you gonna
store
Dunkin'
buy
Donuts or
muffins
you
and give them to your
If you
fucking
do it
neighbors.
though,
Wait a minute. What'd you say, Ian?
You can't store. You do store bought muffins and give them to your neighbors. They have to be homemade.
I'll
Yes.
put them in a
Or,
Tupperware so it
hold
looks
on,
like I made
or-
them though.
No,
Ian, or from a bakery, not like Dunkin' Donuts. You
Yes.
got to get them from like a bakery.
Okay,
like
I'll
a
go to a
nice
bakery.
bakery.
Okay, I'll go
Because
to a
I know
bakery.
you show up with like a box from Dunkin' Donuts, but here, guys.
And we don't mean Loblaws bakery. We mean like a real.
No, I'll
bakery.
go to a real bakery. I'll go to a real bakery.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
Good.
go to a real bakery. I'm gonna get 6 muffins for each house.
For each house.
Right? No?
How
There's
many
only
houses?
6 per house. That seems like a little excessive. No.
How
There's
many
only
houses?
there's only 6 houses.
No,
It
6 is
doesn't.
good.
No, you need to give at least 6.
Okay. No. Melissa says at least 6 per.
I would say
Yeah,
a
that's
dozen
what
a
I think.
house. How much can a dozen muffins
No, I
cost?
don't need a dozen a house, man.
Wow,
No,
you
that's-
fucking.
Like 6 is a good number. 6 is a good number.
Yeah.
There's
No,
probably-
they all say the ladies both say that more than 6 is excessive. 6 is good.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
there's
agree.
3 houses?
There's 6 houses.
6 houses. Oh, 6 houses.
This is the
Yeah. So
worst.
there's only 36 muffins. You're good. 3
This is the
dozen.
worst segment ever on this podcast.
And a top of protein. Give them a top of protein. Trust me.
Stop trying to give away my supplements, man.
Why don't you make
Protein
Rice
is
Krispie treats?
popular.
You can make those are easy to make. Homemade
Even
Rice
older
Krispie
people like protein for sure.
Okay, can we move on now, please?
treats. No, I'm excited. We're talking about baking and making things.
I'm
Don't
trying
be
to be.
embarrassed.
I'm trying to be a nicer person.
Yeah, we're helping
Try
you
it.
be a better person.
No, but we already
Yeah.
figured it out. 6 muffins.
Yeah, but he's already limited his niceness to 6 muffins.
Well, for the first visit, I don't want to I don't want to.
Coming
Well,
hot.
Yeah.
He's gonna write this as an expense through Hostile too.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm gonna give him the receipt, business expense.
Be like, hey, I'm gonna send you an invoice.
I don't know. I thought I was normal. This is another case of being on this podcast and thinking I'm the normal one and ending up not being the normal one.
For
Why?
what? Being
Would you not be
selfish?
normal? You're good.
No, not selfish. Being the guy, because I thought most people with their neighbors are like, "Hey, buddy, how's it going?" And that was like the extent of it.
I think in 2021 that is the norm. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I think
so-
if you asked us in 1995, it would have been different.
We'd have
Yeah.
block parties at the end of the fucking road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude, what's the difference between a bill and an invoice?
nothing.
Same thing.
It's just a more professional way to say it.
Invoice sounds cool.
Invoice sounds more professional. All right, let's do some questions.
Do you see the thing that was just posted? Melissa's new job.
No,
Uh-huh.
what's going on?
Go to Trained by JP's page, TBJP.
One sec.
Is there congratulations in order?
Is she? 1 second here.
1 second while I hide my screen from all the filth that I Google.
No, I'm trying to share the screen. Okay. Where am I going? JP's page?
TBJP, yeah.
Guy's looking at what tabs he's opened.
She's part of the team.
No, read it.
Oh, she's a designer now.
She's designing the clothes for them now. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's crazy. Good for her.
Good for her.
Congratulations, Melissa.
Thank you.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Well, I didn't know
Cool.
she was a designer. We could use a designer. Quit. Don't go there. Come to us.
Poaching.
I'm poaching constantly. That's what I do. No,
Cherry picking son of a
no,
bitch.
that's great, man. That's good for her.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
I think it's cooler than being an athlete. I think having a say in how things look is fucking. That's
Well,
honestly,
especially too, I think for, Melissa's got her like finger on the pulse, I think with this kind of like workout fashion. I think for a company like JP, especially for women's, because right now all their apparel is just kind of like unisex, right? It's just like you order all the same things. It's all kind of unisex. So to, have someone like her that, can really like get something that's a little trendy and, into the women's is a good thing for them to get a foothold in. Because I think they're doing well with the men's stuff, but then a lot of women want more like womenly stuff and not just men's stuff in smaller sizes. So to kind of get into that as well. And, someone like Melissa that's like good at that would be good for them. So
I think that's where we're going next because our men's sales have been crazy.
Yeah.
But we always get women asking about stuff and we're not, because I kind of pick the stuff and design the stuff myself, most of it anyway. I shouldn't say design. I work with our designer on what I like.
Yeah.
But I don't really have like you said, like a hand on what women are wearing or what women like or whatever. So it's cool to
hit me up.
You don't you're gonna send me a bunch of big clits and big tits shirts. No, but that's great for JP because having somebody that actually knows what's going on is going to help him for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it. It'd be cool.
And to be honest with you, my favorite part of owning this, like our company, is that I get to do that stuff. So it's cool that Melissa has a hand in that and how it works. And it's not just like an athlete. Yeah. What are you laughing at?
Laughing at the big tits, big clits, because Ian doesn't get it. That's actually a shirt we're selling.
Oh, you didn't know that was one of his shirts, Ian?
Oh no, I didn't. I knew the chest day one. That's all I've seen.
He's actually got a shirt.
That's disgusting.
I want to see it.
It's disgusting. Melissa said it's disgusting.
I agree.
Roman likes it that way.
Let's see it.
Where is it, Roman?
No, it's not. It's on the website is called The Most Hated. .de. There it is. And then it should be on there. Scroll down a little bit.
One second here. Athletes.
There should be like a. Where is it? Scroll down. No, it's not. It's not. It's in the other section.
What section is that? Accessories and equipment? No. You got a lot of stuff on here.
Yeah. No, that's the sales.
I love trend.
Yeah.
I love trend. That's your shirt.
There's you see the bottom left one? It says hobby diabetic.
The
hobby diabetic.
What the fuck, Roman? Where's the I gotta wait. What happens?
It's probably in the most hated thing. Click on athletes.
Oh, I shouldn't put that in a search. It's not gonna.
Yeah, no, don't search that.
Who am I looking for, man? Oh, most hated.
Yeah,
it's not there.
And maybe it's sold out.
New and used cars for sale.
Fuck! It's sold out. It's sold out.
I'm always looking for cars, guy. Come on. Where was that? I saw it earlier.
I saw it yesterday.
Why don't you just Google the name?
Because if I Google big clits and big tits, it's not going to be a good Google search.
Well, Google it with the camera off the screen and then find it and bring it back up.
Don't you dare do that.
It's not here either.
Motherfucker, it's sold out. But it's in your DMs.
Well, I'm not going there.
I would love this podcast so much.
Oh shit.
Let me see here.
You know,
say, Roman.
So much,
sold out.
so much for asking questions.
I'm really happy about the fact that it's probably sold out.
Who do you think bought it? More girls or more guys?
You know, when it sold out really quick, that's the funny part. We opened the shop to worldwide, so U.S., Australia, Britain,
you guys
Britain,
don't.
all that.
You guys don't want to see the search that came up.
No.
That's all I do.
Well, I mean, I do want to see, but I don't want your show to get shut off.
Yeah.
So.
One more time, and then we'll move on.
So we opened up the shop to worldwide, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Holy
Canada,
God.
US. And as soon as we did that last week, the big tits, big clits, and the Only Trend shirts sold out.
Only
Who's
trans.
Who's buying big clits, big tits?
Apparently, a lot of Americans and Australians do.
Australians, I can
Is
see
that-
for sure.
Is that a thing that guys like?
No, it's just
What,
fucking
baby
funny.
carrots?
What?
Baby
Yeah,
carrots?
baby carrots. Yeah, baby carrots.
Little
Roman, you
thumb
like-
knuckle down there?
Roman, you like baby carrots?
No,
Okay.
I had a girlfriend. I was with a girl before that. She was a competitor, obviously.
Yeah.
And
Well, she was a competitor or a man if she had one of them.
she had a pretty. No, she was a bikini competitor.
Yeah.
But her thing was literally like this,
Like a little baby toe?
like sticking out like this, you know.
Like a little baby toe.
Out of her. Wait, the word I learned: skin canoe.
You're welcome
What
for
did-
that.
What did
You're
he call
welcome.
it?
The skin
Skin
canoe.
canoe.
Oh, skin canoe.
Skin canoe or hatchet wound?
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's so bad.
Let's do questions. Come on.
Okay, let's do questions.
All right, Family Feud, relax.
What do you think about this? What do you think about this cut mix where we mixed Masteron, Tren, and Test? Or is it better to take it separately? This seems a lot easier when they're already mixed up.
My only issue with these pre-blended things is your independent dose control has gone out the window, basically. So it's like you're just locked in. Like a lot of these, if it's like Prop Trend Masteron mix in one, it'll be 50 milligrams of each. But like I don't want to run the same dose of Trend as I do of Test, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, like you can use them as a base and then say you want to do 350 milligrams a week of all of them and then add some Test or add some whatever to it and to change the ratio. But I find you're always just better to get them independently and control your doses independently.
I like them all separately
I'm the
myself.
same way.
I don't think I've ever taken anything blended
Neither have I.
other than Cesternino, but like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here. Same here.
What? This is so stupid. The smell of your favorite food or the noise and sound of iron plates and roaring people.
Which one do I prefer?
Yeah, I guess.
Smell of food. People
Food.
annoy me.
Food?
Yeah. Food.
Fuck that. Roaring people.
But for what? Like, I don't get it. What do you like more?
Yeah. The smell versus, I don't care about the smell. I don't want to
Oh,
smell
so
food.
you don't get to eat it. You're not eating it.
No.
Oh, then yeah, for sure the plates then.
Yeah.
Oh, then
Not the plates. So what about the roaring people? I mean, when you go on stage, you hear people cheering for you.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought he
no,
meant
that-
like people
I'm just saying
roaring
that
like in the
all-
gym, like, rah, ha,
Oh,
ha.
I didn't consider that. I thought he meant like roaring.
That's why I was like, I
audience.
don't want to hear that shit. I do
Oh.
that. It drives everybody nuts.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
guess,
weird
yeah.
question. Get another one.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
For Ian, have you ever looked at Melissa during adult time and seen? I should really read these. I should really
And seen
read.
Chris?
I should really read these beforehand.
No, I get this question quite a bit. I honestly don't think Melissa and Chris look even remotely alike.
Oh, you're so crazy. We've
I
talked
agree
about
with
this.
I agree with Ian. So
I don't see. I like if you didn't.
Roman's
If I
gonna
didn't
agree
know
with
they
Ian
were
no matter what.
related,
So I
I
can't
would
ask.
never think they were related.
Dude, I have had girls that had brothers. I never thought of her brother.
I mean, and also like Chris is good looking. Why the fuck would I care? Who cares? You know?
I thought you were going to say he's good looking and I'm not.
Oh, I mean, there's worse people. There's worse people to see when you're banging your wife than Chris Bumstead. You know?
I guess, but really?
That answer sounded like you've already given it 100 times.
Yeah, he's already thought about it a bunch. Yeah, it's not so bad.
That's I've thought about this one. Yeah.
Oh, here we fucking go. You're gonna do this to the poor guy? Like, Ian, tell him no.
No, we've already done this before. We have to do it again
Well,
because
don't
of
pick like yeah.
there.
You
They
think
don't
they're
look-
okay? Zoom
their
in on that.
Smile is about it.
One
Zoom
second.
in on that. You think they look alike at all?
Smile.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, but she doesn't smile at him like that when he's fucking her.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you look alike at all.
I feel like we do look alike.
If Melissa wasn't wearing
Okay.
makeup, they would look exactly the same.
There, they kind of look alike.
No,
I don't see it. I don't see it at all. They don't have.
I don't know
any of
how
the
you
same-
can't see it.
That's kind of an old picture, though.
I don't see what features do you think they have alike. I don't see any of it.
mouth.
The
That's all I said.
jawline, the
No,
mouth,
both of
the
them
nose,
look so different.
the
They
eyes.
have
with-
maybe somewhat similar face shape, but like
Nose. Don't
Okay,
we
wait
have
a
the
minute.
same nose?
I don't think so.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
when
we-
There's
That's
bumps that has here.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just
that's when Melissa is in shape. Okay, she doesn't always have like cut out cheeks like that.
Yeah, but Chris is in
Yes.
shape. We're comparing apples to apples here. So what I'm saying is like, look, jawline, same, mouth, same, nose, same, eyes. If Melissa was wearing makeup, probably the same.
No,
Eyes
Ian-
are
very,
Ian-
very different
eyes
eyes.
are very different.
Yeah.
I think
Your eyes
Ian's
are very
Ian's married to Chris.
Yeah, and
I'm
she
what?
doesn't.
I'm not
Oh
upset
my
about
God.
If anyone's gonna be upset, it's gonna be fucking me. You're telling me I look like a man.
No, Chris is a
Melissa, I'm on your side. I've said no the entire time.
Chris is a
Yeah,
very
I love you. Thank you.
I'm
Just
saying no
wait a
too,
minute.
just to be clear here,
just
right?
because you look alike doesn't mean you look. I'm not saying you look like a man. The features are the same.
Of a man.
Man features.
Of a man. Of a man.
I
Man
said-
features.
No,
Well, technically she's
Are you
older,
calling
so
Chris
Chris
a
has
girl?
the same features as her.
You're either calling Chris a girl or you're calling Melissa a man. So pick your poison.
Yeah,
You
know
Chris
what?
looks like Melissa,
Fouad-
not Melissa looks like Chris.
Fouad, right now we're all against you.
that's normal. That's how it happens all the time. I'm always on my own over here.
No, I mean, look, I wouldn't care either way. If
He's
they
on
look
an
like
island by
identical
himself.
twins, it wouldn't bother me. It's not, you know.
This one shows it the most, I think.
All right. Well, we all just the majority voted that you're fucking wrong. So if we move on from this nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't think it's insulting. My sister looks like my brother. It's not insult. Doesn't mean she looks like a man or my brother looks like a woman. It's like you just features are the same, right?
I don't
Anyway.
see it.
All right. Well, I didn't ask the question. Don't be mad at me.
No, I'm not mad. Look, I could care less if they look alike. I think Chris is a good looking dude, so whatever, but I don't see it, no.
Do you like Instagram, YouTube, bodybuilding media era or magazine TV media era better?
Magazine TV.
Yes.
Yeah, because dude, I've been banned on Instagram for 2 months now.
Have you? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Your
I
Instagram.
can't no.
Your Instagram's there.
I think this is
No.
a case of the grass is always greener, and I think now it is considerably better, but everyone will always look at things like from their childhood or when they grew up watching bodybuilding as being better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking about it, I would probably make a lot less money if it
Blocked from
wasn't for
sharing a live video.
And that my engagement's down on my stories, my engagement's down on my pictures. I don't know how to get unblocked. I don't know what I did.
Have you been talking politics or COVID?
No, it was from the dick and balls comment that I
What?
reposted so many times
What dick
from
and
this
balls?
fucking podcast. When I was like, if you can cut your fucking dick and balls off and call yourself a woman, I can get unvaccinated. I can call myself unvaccinated.
Why would you
I've
do
been
that?
blocked since that time.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know you can't talk like that.
Yeah, that'll
I
do
can
it.
talk
Too.
however the fuck I want. What do you mean? I didn't say anything.
Well,
bad.
you can talk however you want, but then Instagram's gonna tell you to fuck off.
Which is why I said I hate this fucking society of social media. I think it sucks. I can get people that fucking tear
Yeah,
me
but you
apart
also-
on my comments.
You also, if you said that, they wouldn't put that quoted in a fucking Flex magazine in 1994. So it's like neither here nor there, you know?
They probably would. Lee Priest was in MD talking about shitting on women. I mean, I remember reading that stuff.
Yeah, MD had a fucked up column.
Yeah, that's only because Blackman is into that kind of stuff, though.
That's true, though. You know what Ian said is true. Actually, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Because people are like, "Oh, social media censors everything," but I'm like, you know what? If you're in a magazine, you couldn't say fucking anything.
Yeah.
Like now we have podcasts but think about this. Think about wait a minute. I had to flex. I had a Weeder contract and an MD contract. But
Also, think of like the amount of content we could put out instead of just a magazine or a DVD coming out like once a month or once a
But
year.
not even
I posted
content.
3 YouTube videos this week.
Not even just content though. Think of this. So we're on this podcast. We just talked about a cycle and how it should be, whatever. In the last podcast, we were talking about GH and how much you should take and blah blah. You could never fucking do that in a magazine.
Exactly.
And if you did do it, it was ghost written by somebody, and the people reading it probably wouldn't believe it anyway.
That's what I was going to ask you. Did you, when I had a Weeder contract and I also had an MD contract at one point, I wrote all my columns. They tried the first time I signed with them, they called me to take my thing over the phone. And I said, I think it was Ron Harris. I said, I'm an educated man with a college degree. I don't need you writing my column, bro.
That's
Then I'm
fine.
good.
I wrote mine too, but they still had guidelines. I couldn't write, oh, I take fucking GH at fucking noon and I take it again at midnight. And you can't do that. They had
I mean, a lot of times they gave me questions to ask, or like, I picked questions to answer.
No, I know, but I'm saying like I had my own blog and I could write whatever I wanted.
We're sitting here on this
guideline.
talking about whatever the fuck we feel like right now. You know?
No, I like that part of it, but I don't like the part where like everything's flagged.
Okay, this is my opinion on it. There is no time in history where a fan has been able to be connected to their favorite bodybuilder as much as they are now. And not only in terms of how much content they provide, but because of things like this podcast, people know their favorite person way more. And they actually feel like they're friends with them. You would never, ever, like I was a fan before I turned pro reading Flex magazines. I never felt like I knew who Jay Cutler was or who Ronnie.
No, I mean, and I respond to all my DMs on my YouTube. I respond to every comment. Like, that's a level of interaction you never had until the last 6-7 years. I
think there's a prestige that comes with like being on the cover of a Flex magazine or a MD or something, which is something I miss. But that's like the only thing. Yeah. Other than that, it's like I think it's all positive, especially for the fans this way.
I agree.
Yeah, and for us to make money, I would have never sold a single shirt just last week, because people like me, and it's funny, I don't know how many of that shirts I sold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Iain is selling gear that says Valliere or Chris or Guy. The whole thing, do it to the side. If that hadn't happened, and if that hadn't been put out on Instagram all over the place,
that's why I'm famous now, you motherfucker.
Exactly.
It's a lot of the reason why. You forgot.
There's no time better than the present.
Yeah, to make money.
You forgot a sock when changing for the gym. Do you train with one sock, train with no socks, or go home because the above two are anarchy?
No socks.
How the fuck do you go? How the fuck do you go to the gym with only one sock on?
It's just a game. Just play along.
Okay.
Zero socks.
No socks. I you know how I train barefoot.
You train with no socks anyway.
Yeah.
That's why you get the guys that fucking.
I mean, I've been doing cardio every day right now in flip flops with no socks, like
on a
cardio
bike?
Like that
on a bike
or the elliptical.
I couldn't do it on elliptical with flip flops. It would annoy me.
No, it's good. It's nice.
I could do it on a bike because your feet don't like they're fixed.
That doesn't matter. On a bike, it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah. Is it okay to drink fat-free milk on prep with whey protein?
Oh no, it's gross.
Well, if you fast
water, you fucking pussy. Like, why?
I always think it's funny when people say that. They're like, "You drink it with water?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, I have been since.
Hey, hold on.
Actually,
this goes back to like
the whole
when I made the comment about like it being harder or easier, like, and you were like, well, it should be like.
What do you mean?
Nobody makes it with fucking like people make it with
no.
milk.
I think bodybuilding should be hard in a sense of you should listen to exactly what your coach says. My only point was it doesn't have to be hell if you're making progress.
No.
Yes. Yeah, that's all I was saying. Like, if you're not making progress, then it's going to be fucking hell. You're going to have to just put your, just shut the fuck up and do whatever it takes. That's kind of the point I was trying to make. But I'm sorry, Roman, go ahead. You kind of.
The irony here is you're paying a lot of money for a product that has extracted all the protein from milk, and gotten rid of the lactose and all that shit. Yeah. And then you're going to add milk back in it.
Yeah.
But it tastes better with milk. That's their excuse.
Yeah, but if you're using fat-free milk, it's basically fucking water anyways.
Yeah. I've rarely done shakes with milk unless I was purposely trying to add calories.
Look, this is the answer. If you're someone that wants to do it with milk, do your shake, take a little bit of ice and blend the shit out of it, make it nice, smooth, like frosty-ish kind of thing, and you're good to go.
And then call yourself a girl and fucking go to bed.
Wait, what was the answer?
Just blend it up with ice and make a nice fucking frosty smoothie.
If you got to make it a frosty just to get that protein, it's insanity.
The only time, wait a minute, you can add milk if you're trying to gain weight and you want calories.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I would add milk.
Well, wait.
Oh, but he said on a diet. So sorry.
Yeah.
As long as the milk, in a lot of cases, I think it's going to impact your digestion to the point that it's actually making you probably eat less food and less calories. So I probably wouldn't advise it unless you have absolutely no digestive distress.
Yeah. Okay. You guys always talk about fixing your waist when you review physiques. What are some ways to shrink or tighten a waist?
Stop eating like an asshole.
Yes. Don't get fat and practice abdominal control at all times.
Don't put ketchup on every meal.
I think the second thing that Ian said is the most important thing.
The thing that has made the biggest difference for me, how I've maintained mine while I've grown everywhere else, is I just never let my stomach relax. And it's become so that it's just second nature. Like right now sitting, my stomach is like drawn in tight, flat. I'm never just like relaxed. I can't even like conceptualize just like letting it out. It's just a secondary thought that just happens like breathing, where my stomach just stays like that now, you know?
So I'll say the best thing for somebody who doesn't already have a good waist is probably vacuuming. The first time me and
Paul,
Luke competed together at the Arnold's, he didn't have a vacuum at all. It was flat. It didn't distend, but it didn't have a vacuum.
Yeah.
He took that whole off season plus his entire next prep, and he said he was doing vacuums every single morning and after his fifth meal. Before he ate his last meal, he would do it. So he kind of did it with a full stomach and an empty stomach. And you guys saw the next time he stepped on stage was at the Arnold's again, where he took third.
Front double is wild.
He was doing, when you do that front double, great vacuum.
The two best things you can do for abdominal control like that, and just like strengthening it under like that, is doing
TVA.
Yeah, is doing your vacuums and doing planks. Do those every day, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know who also reduced his waist? John Jewett.
Oh, yeah. Same thing, though. He told me the same, but he told me the same kind of recipe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. He had a sorry, John. He had a gut.
Yeah.
You know, it was, and then within a year or something like that, it shrunk. It looked like his hip bones got smaller. So
the last time I prepped last year, before I dropped out of that show, my waist had shrunk more than any other prep I did. I don't think it was just because I was a little smaller. I was doing vacuums every day, morning and night. And I think the problem with doing vacuums, I think for a lot of people that say they want to start them today, is it takes months to see something like a John Jewett. Because like you said, it took a year. And the same thing with Luke, is it took like a whole year for him to actually be able to vacuum. So I think if people have the patience, I think that's the best way to do it.
But I think with John, I think John corrected his stomach, but he also lost size in other places too, which I think hurt him a little bit this year because he was a little bigger structurally overall.
I think, yeah. I mean, it's a combination of things. Like obviously,
so it's like hard to gauge, you know.
Yeah, I mean, digestion.
Luke didn't lose any size though.
No. Yeah. No. I didn't say that.
Yeah. And I think a big thing too is just like obviously finding foods that you digest optimally. Like if there's any foods in your diet that you're finding, even from a small amount of them, are making you bloated or feel any kind of digestive distress, just get rid of them. Simple. There's no hard and fast rules of like you have to eat rice or you have to eat chicken or you have to eat this. If it doesn't work, don't fucking eat it. You know
what I found was something that would bother me during prep was when I used to blend my shakes after the gym. Yeah. Because you don't think about it. You blend the shakes, all that fucking air. You're blending this much liquid, but you're drinking this big of a fucking cup.
Shaker cup.
Stomach is filled with fucking air. So I try not to blend my shakes now when I'm done training. Or if I blend it, I blend it quick, like a couple seconds and done.
I find with a shaker cup, you eliminate that.
Yeah.
You just shake it and there's no bubbles. You just fucking slam it. Yeah.
And then another thing, I got this from Phil Viz. He told me that when you take too much growth hormone, it actually somehow impairs your neurological function, and it is harder for you to control your abdominal region. I don't know how it does it, but he said...
This sounds like Phil Viz wizardry that I don't believe in.
How much growth are you taking?
He said, I don't know what the dosage was.
I've never heard of that in my entire life.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah.
And I'm the smartest guy that I know.
Yeah.
I'm sure you are.
What were you all?
Another thing.
Go ahead.
Do you guys think that when you take insulin, that it actually somehow stores water, like in your gut? And when you stop,
I think you hold a little film.
I think you do. But not.
No, like inside. You know what I mean?
I think you just store more water. Period. From all the carbs you have to eat.
Well, yeah, because for every gram of carb, you're storing water with it as well.
Yeah, so if you're eating, you're taking 10 IUs of Slin, you're taking 110 or 120, 130 grams of carbs with it, you're going to store more water everywhere.
Oh, you forget.
But it feels like it's storing it like in my belly.
I think it's from the simple sugars, because that's why I stopped taking insulin, because every time I took it, I would just get bloated.
Cheeseburger.
Because all the simple sugars are, you're combining your starchy and your simple and your complex carbs together, and I just get bloated. I'm like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Mm.
What were you all like in high school?
We should all be natural. It's way too complicated.
Oh, fuck that. what were you all like in high school? Were you popular? Or did you get good grades? Ian, were you popular?
I was popular, yeah.
Did you get good grades?
I was like a very mediocre student, like a
B?
B student, B minus student. But like I was like the kind of guy that like procrastinated everything. I like fucking was, doing drugs on the weekend, drinking with my buddies and smoking cigarettes between classes and like,
sounds same. Guy, were you popular in high school?
Yeah.
You get good grades?
Yeah.
Like B's, A's?
Yeah.
Both?
Yeah. A's and B's, mostly.
Roman?
I always did just enough to get by. And not just enough to be,
just to pass.
Yeah, just maybe a C, maybe a B.
Yeah.
Maybe in Germany, actually, it's 1 is the best.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, and 6 is the worst.
Sounds like a panel of IFBB judges.
Yeah.
Were you popular in high school?
I was indifferent with all the other. So I was like, I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So I was just, and then for some reason, everybody always wanted to be my friend. I was like,
probably because you don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I was like Switzerland.
Yeah.
I wasn't like affiliated with any group. I was just doing my thing. Yeah, and then everyone was nice to me because I was just, Roman.
I've noticed in life that people always gravitate to the guys that don't give a shit.
Yeah.
More so than the guys that care too much.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
I went to a Catholic school freshman year, and I fucking hated it. So I had no friends. Because like they could recruit you to play football at a Catholic high school, so they recruited me to play ball. Brought me to this high school. We literally went. It was the craziest thing. We actually went away to camp. Like in college, we like had college football camp and triples like on campus. When I was in high school, we drove like this huge bus, like to the middle of fucking nowhere. Weren't allowed to call anybody. Weren't allowed to have our cell phones. Like they took everything from us, like no communication to the outside world for 16 days, fucking in the middle of nowhere, training 3 times a day. First full pad practice, the fucking coach throws me the football and he's like, Cisternino, throw the ball to so-and-so. And I'm like, dude, I'm like 5 feet tall. I'm like, okay. And I took the ball and I threw it. And he goes, all right, go with quarterbacks today. And I'm like, go with the fucking quarterbacks. What? I'm like, I never played quarterback in my life. They put me a backup quarterback, had no friends at the school. I got bullied, but I didn't take bullied. So I constantly had like issues with everybody. So after that year was up, I fucking told my parents, I was like, I'm not going back to that school. I'm like, fuck, I'm not going. I'm done. And I went to my public school.
What grade was that?
Freshman.
So is that the first
grade 9?
Grade 9.
Yeah, well, the way we do it here, it's K
Freshman,
through
sophomore,
6.
junior, senior.
K through 6, kindergarten through 6th grade is one school.
Yeah, and then 7,
Middle
8.
school was 7th and 8th.
Yeah.
We're the
And then
same.
high school was 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
So 9th grade, I went, like I've been with all those guys from K through 8th grade. And then I went to a completely different fucking school where I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
So I was like the odd one out.
Yeah.
So I didn't get along with anybody.
You were cool. You were cool in high school, Fouad?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like there was 2 cliques. There was like it was like 2 different cliques, and I hung out with like a more of a multicultural group. There was like a whole bunch of white guys that hung out together. they were like these just like all jocks, and then there was like this other group, and it was like, I had one of my best friend was Filipino, Chinese. It was like Italian. We're all this other group that hung out together.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess I consider I had a lot of friends in high school, but I didn't fucking apply myself at all. Like grade 13, I think I had something like 160 missed classes.
Fuck, you're old. You had fucking OAC, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Jeez,
And what?
I was like 2 when they got rid of that.
OAZ, what's that?
OAC.
OAC, it's grade 13. Yeah.
It was our classes went to 12 and then 13, and then you went to university after that. So my last year, I skipped a bunch of class. I was kind of like Roman. I kind of just did enough to get a C or a B and fucking gonna get by.
Yeah.
My dad would I was scared to death of my father. So I was always on the straight and narrow growing up.
My parents didn't care as long as I didn't fail.
Yeah, same.
I mean, wait. Let me rephrase that. They fucking cared, but I was able to keep things hidden. As long as I was passing, nobody bothered me. But they definitely wanted more from me. But I just,
Of course, yeah.
I didn't care, man. I just never liked school.
Yeah.
Even in university, I was like, there was like 2 classes I liked in university: history and fucking psychology. Everything else, I was like, this.
What did you graduate with?
I didn't. I left after 2 years.
Oh,
I did 2 years of honors criminology because I wanted to be a cop, but I wanted to kind of move up in the ranks. So I did honors criminology, and then after 2 years, I fucking left. I was like, I'm just going to be a bodybuilder. Like, fuck it, I'm out.
I'm the same.
So, yeah. After finishing prep with the implementation of T3 and immediately transitioning to an off season, should you keep the slight T3 dose or go off T3 in an off season?
taper down to completely off.
Taper down. I mean, depends. Are you keeping growth hormone in? Like, what are you doing with your GH? If you're using GH, that's going to affect if you're using T3 or T4. I mean, but yeah, general rule, rule with T3 is taper off it.
Yeah,
So
but you
let
never
me-
want to stay on that all year unless it's like medically necessity.
Well, can
Yeah.
I ask? Actually, I'm going to ask you guys something about that. So, T3, I agree with Guy and Annie, and I would taper off and then go off. But when I'm on growth, I like using T4.
Yeah, I do all the time when I'm on growth. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So that's
just
not,
a little tiny.
Now, why? I've never,
Why?
I've never heard that.
well, what I heard, and Ian can correct me if I'm wrong, but is when you raise your growth hormone levels, you want to raise your thyroid levels as well.
Yes, and it can cause suppression. So you want to just make sure that come up in conjunction with.
So what do you use? Armor thyroid?
I use Synthroid.
Synthroid. That's it.
I think Synthroid is armor thyroid. I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's just pharmaceutical T4.
I
It's
Synthroid.
just
think,
easier.
am I
It's just
wrong or am I
easier.
right?
It's easier on the body than T3, right? Because T3 is T4 is the precursor. Is that
Yeah, your body will convert the T4 to T3 as needed, where the T3 is already converted.
Yeah. What are you looking up, guys?
I have never.
Is armor thyroid also called Synthroid?
Oh, Synthroid. Oh, I don't know. What was that?
I think
Roman?
they're the same thing,
I
just
have
two different.
I have never used a T3 or T4 in my life ever.
Yeah, I mean, you probably
But-
shouldn't.
This is the thing. Can I just want to make this point and see if you guys can correct me again if I'm wrong, but your thyroid has a lot to do with your health and immunity as well.
Mhm.
So I always felt like I don't want to suppress my thyroid. So I don't want people to watching to get the wrong impression. I'm not taking the T4 because I want to be leaner in the off season.
Absolutely not.
I'm taking the T4 so I can stay healthier in the off season.
So
Correct.
Synthroid is a synthetic compound identical to T4
Yes.
produced by human thyroid gland, and armor thyroid is a natural product made from animal thyroid glands.
Okay.
So it might be healthier. I don't know.
Similar compound, just made
Differently.
ways.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad we covered that. Would you rather be 4 feet tall or an 8 feet tall bodybuilder?
Well, I can answer this one for you guys if you want to know.
4 feet
Anybody
tall.
wants to know, feel free to swing that question my way.
I'd rather be 8 feet. You want to be 4? I'd rather be 8 feet tall.
No, 4 feet.
No, because at least I can go into like Formula One or be a good jockey or something, you know?
Yeah,
I
have
can
fun with
play,
the
I can play
fucking.
basketball.
But it says bodybuilder.
Yeah, but I don't want to play basketball. I want to be a fucking Formula One driver. So I'm taking the 4 feet after.
But it says bodybuilder,
It
right?
does say bodybuilder.
I know,
right,
but I got to
yeah.
think of life after bodybuilding too here, you know?
You're not gonna survive bodybuilding.
Don't say that, Roman. Don't say
That's
that.
true. That's
Bro.
very true.
Roman, don't say that. How do you wash your back when showering?
I
I
know.
know
I have
all
a
the things.
I have a stick with a sponge on it.
Yeah,
Me too.
a loofah stick.
Yeah.
Ian looks
What's
confused.
the-
Ian doesn't wash his back.
I washed the lower bit where I can reach. And the
Ian's
rest
like this. What did you do to wash your back? Ian's like, Melissa.
Yes.
No, he already said I wash the lower part I can reach and I leave the rest.
Before a show, when I need to exfoliate or like do stuff like that, I get Melissa in there and she'll like do my back properly.
Yeah.
Or like when I tan, like if I go to a tanning salon, I need to put tanning lotion on my back. Melissa comes in the room and puts it on for me. But other than that, I don't fuck around.
Do you ever have the tanning girl put it on for you?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure they would like that, but no.
I'm just checking.
They probably charge you double, probably.
Not in a
What,
sexual.
they give me the
not-
tan
okay,
for free.
Not in a sexual way. I'm just saying you're getting
I
ready
mean
for a contest.
the lotion because they
Hey,
have.
I'll
to
go
apply-
tanning today. And I'll ask the girl here if she'll lotion my back for me.
Listen, I didn't mean it in a sexual
You wait,
way.
you actually do that?
I've
I
done
do it,
that.
sure.
I've done
Really?
that. That's why I said I don't mean it sexually. I mean, like, I'm getting ready for a contest. I don't have any
Help
way
me
to put
out.
the lotion on my back. Can you put it on my back for me?
Well,
Yeah,
I
it's not
wouldn't
weird.
have to see. I wouldn't have the balls to do that.
Why?
I just wouldn't.
I've done
I
it.
love
man.
how you pause for that when you know I'm taking a picture. You
Yeah.
purposely pause now every time. You just like time stops when you see the camera come up.
I hate it when you take a photo because then you're gonna post it. Now people are gonna be like, "Where's bro chat?"
No, the fans love it. The fans like, thanks for updating me for the next bro chat coming
Yeah,
out.
great. Anyway, Roman, do you think it's a big deal if the tanning girl puts lotion on your back?
I can say this every.
I asked Roman. I
99%.
asked Roman.
I don't care.
I don't think so.
Roman, Guy, what were you gonna say? You 99%.
90% of the girls that I dated would freak out if I got fucking tanning lotion put on my back by somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You
obviously,
ask
you're
Melissa.
100%.
Ask
Melissa
Melissa.
probably. When I was
She
conversating
doesn't
with
give a
Melissa,
fuck. She's right here. Yeah.
She doesn't care, right?
No.
No, if a girl works at tanning salon, like, hey, like I can't reach my back, can you put it on? Like
That's what I mean.
Fucker. I'm just asking for a tanning fucking lotion on my back.
Yeah, that's my whole point. Okay, good.
yeah, it wouldn't work with me.
Fucking Italians.
No, I didn't say me. I said the girls that I dated. Be like, yeah, okay.
What different advice? No. What's the best or worst advice you have been given by a coach?
Take 100 units of insulin.
100.
That's pretty bad advice.
That's bad.
Or
Yeah.
are you saying that's the best advice you had?
No, that's the worst.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Somebody actually told you that?
Yeah, Milos.
Oh, and he names them too. Do I have to cut this out now?
Isn't that his selling point?
That's his thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it is his thing.
I ready for this? I was
Ready.
We're ready. Get to it.
dieting for a show back in 2004, 4. I was using a coach. He told me one of my meals was chicken, broccoli, and 2 rice cakes. And in the email, he specified to crumble the rice cakes over the fucking broccoli.
I think you
And I
told me
had
this.
I had no fucking reason or understanding why, but I did it for like a week. So his name was John O'Regan. So I finally
John
texted him.
O'Regan. Yeah.
I'm like, John, I go, I like, why am I fucking crumbling these rice cakes on the broccoli? Because all it's doing is turning the rice cake into soggy fucking tasting
Oh.
broccoli, and it's gross. And he goes, oh, I just thought you like it better.
You know what?
I'm like, there was
You know
no
what?
fucking reason behind that.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
told
You
me
know
to
what?
crumble it over my fucking broccoli. I thought there was like some scientific reason for the rice cake being crumbled and broken down on top of the broccoli that it digested a certain way. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. So for a week, I was eating this soggy shit on my broccoli until I realized the guy was just a fucking idiot and didn't know a goddamn thing about anything. And please leave this in because I hope he hears it.
All right. Roman, go ahead.
You know what? Dallas told the exact same
Dallas
story.
worked with
Yeah.
Dallas.
Yeah.
I
He
told Dallas
the
that
exact
story.
same story.
From Dallas.
Yeah.
Jesus. Hey, can I? It's actually interesting that we got into this. I want to. This is probably going to be a controversial topic, but I have to get into it. So, I heard that somebody had an athlete a female athlete, use a shitload of DNP and a shitload of thyroid. And the person messaged me and they said, do you think you should out this coach, blah, 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 because of what he's doing and everything? And I'm like, look, this show is not about that. I don't, that's not why I do this podcast, to like fucking out people and make people fucking shit on people. The point of the reason I'm bringing it up is, why do people point to the coach and they're like, that coach is bad, that coach is this, that coach is responsible for this person's injury, blah, blah, blah. And they never point to the fucking person that's like, sure, I'll take DNP and I'll take 200 micrograms of fucking T3 and all that stuff. Because I'll tell you one thing, no matter what coach I ever had in my career, if they said take DNP, I'd be like, I don't need to, I'm not taking it. Like, you have to have a fucking brain of your own. It's like, not everybody points to the coach and like, it's the coach's fault. I'm like, what about the fucking athlete?
We talked about this, remember? It's like the same thing that happened recently to me. Like when I was told to take A, B, and C, and I'm like, I don't think that's a fucking good. Like, if you don't know your body well enough and you're doing things without any knowledge behind it, then I'm not trying to be a dick, but it's kind of shame on you too.
But I'm not talking. Yeah, I'm not talking to the athletes particularly right now. What I'm trying to cover this as like our industry as a whole. Why are we always so quick to blame the coach and never blame the fucking athlete?
Because coaches became such a big thing in this bodybuilding sport that the athlete claiming they have a coach, it in a way in the public eye takes away from the athlete responsibility of what happens because, oh, this didn't go well because of this.
They're
Or this didn't go
scapegoats.
well
That's-
because
it's
my
a
coach
scapegoat.
had me
That's
do
all.
this. Huh?
It's a
It's
scapegoat.
a scapegoat. That's what it is.
Yeah, 100%.
But that's like, okay, so let's, God forbid, if anything happened to Chris, you can't point to fucking Ian and be like, it's Ian's fault. Chris has a brain. Chris knows what he's
100%.
doing. Chris
Yeah.
makes his own decisions.
Yes.
So it's like, I don't know why our sport as a fucking whole is like,
Accountability, bro.
as soon as
People-
somebody,
wait, I have to say this also goes the other way too, that a lot of times coaches who are very good coaches doing very safe protocols get athletes who do way more than they're recommended. And then the coach will get shit on if something bad happens. So say you get a client, the coach says take, quarter diazide, they take 2 diazide. They say take 200 milligrams of tren, they take a gram of tren. There's tons of people who are this all or nothing mentality that when their coach says take 1, they take 10. And then this is more common than probably the latter,
the other way,
we were just talking about.
Yeah.
So I think people need to put a lot more ownership on the athletes and them being irresponsible themselves. Because let's be serious, bodybuilders as a whole can be extremely irresponsible, and most of them know what they're doing. So obviously in this case, when someone's saying a coach saying DNP, blah blah blah, 9 times out of 10, probably 9.5 times out of 10, the athlete is wanting these things and asking for these things and begging for these things.
Yeah.
So, I think people are so quick to blame the coach, but I think athletes are also reckless and irresponsible more than coaches generally are. And a lot more onus needs to be put on the athlete.
It's like being a
go ahead, Roman.
I think it's just the loser's mentality of today, that it's always the other guy.
It's always someone else.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's never your fault. Yeah.
No.
And you see that. Like people that are successful, like Ian right now, and you, Fouad, or you, Guy, you can say, okay, this was my fault.
Yeah.
I fucked up. I did that. People that are losers, that are just fuck ups, they're always like, yeah, that wasn't my fault.
Taking personal responsibility and ownership over your actions is huge in terms of being, what?
Growth.
In personal growth, right?
Oh, of course.
This is thing that, and we've all been at parts where we were young and immature and we didn't take responsibility for things. And as you grow up, you realize like to really move on and grow as an adult and as a person, you need to take ownership for your mistakes and recognize them and grow from them, right?
I've said this before about bodybuilders too, and with it not even excluding coaches, like bodybuilders would do well in their careers and then they'll start doing poorly post-career or in their retirement. Maybe they're not making any money, maybe they're unhealthy, and all of a sudden they're pointing the finger at bodybuilding. Yeah. And I'm like, no, man, you fucking knew what you signed up for.
Yep.
You knew when you fucking took the first shot, you knew when you fucking did the first show, when you were getting those fucking checks, that salary every fucking month from the supplement company, you knew what you were doing.
Yep.
So you can't be like
now that it's not there, you're bitter about it.
Yeah. Now I'm 45.
Well, there's a lot of people in this sport that have podcasts that are bitter about fucking not doing well in the sport and just bash the people in the sport in itself.
Well, even the stuff like, I hate to, obviously he's a legend of the sport, but the stuff coming out like Ronnie Coleman saying there shouldn't be any diuretics in bodybuilding and, blah, 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 these things. It's like, yeah. And I understand looking back and hindsight being 2020, sure. We all know diuretics are bad, but when you were in the peak of your career, slamming 4 Lasix to try and win the Olympia, you weren't thinking, oh, this is bad. You were thinking, I want that paycheck. I want to be the greatest of all time. I'm going to do whatever it takes.
Can I tell you guys
singing a different tune?
I'll tell you guys a quick story. So I think I was 38 at the time, maybe 37 or 38. I was in the hospital because I was really dehydrated one day. And I honestly cannot tell you why. It wasn't diuretics. It wasn't even like near a show. I think it was post show. I don't know what happened. I think I was sick with the flu or something, and I got extremely dehydrated. So I ended up in the hospital, and they got me on like an
IV drip.
An IV drip, yeah, just to rehydrate me and stuff, right? And I'm sitting there, and I thought to myself, man, this fucking bodybuilding thing. I'm like, what am I doing? What did I do? Look at me, I'm in the fucking hospital, right? And immediately my thought was, I snapped out of it. I snapped out of it. I was like, no, wait a minute. You knew this day would come where things may get fucked up for you. And then I haven't said it since.
Got to make peace with it.
I haven't said it since because I'm like, you knew. And I've said it. The funny thing is people say it earlier in their careers. Like I've done interviews where people are like in my early 30s or my late 20s, I've done interviews where people are like, hey man, do you know this bodybuilding thing, it's dangerous. And I'm like, yeah, I've accepted the risks and this is what we do. And so it's easy to say when you're in it and you're not feeling anything, but then post-career, either when the money's not coming in or you're sick, now you have like this revelation of like, oh yeah, it is really bad. Well, you fucking knew it at the start. So you gotta, you can't pick and choose.
You can't cherry pick what's situational like that.
I look at it like this. It's like when you're the athlete, you're like the quarterback, where like the coach gives you the play, but when you go to the line and you see what's in front of you, you're like, all right, this is what's happening. I can audible and change it because I know the game good enough to know that the coach wants me to do this, but I see what's in front of me and I know this is better than what he thinks because I'm in the fucking driver's seat.
Yeah.
But people don't like to question their coach. And one I think I always tell my clients, if you ask a coach a question and they can't, after that with John, I told myself, if I ever ask a coach a question, they can't give me a fucking why to the question that I asked them, I don't want them as a coach.
Yeah. But I mean, the other part of it is kind of more what I'm getting at is if you do go to the line and you do accept whatever play the coach has called for you, that's your fucking responsibility.
100%.
You fucking, you said, cool, I'm doing it.
Yep.
That's you, motherfucker. If something happens to you,
Yep.
you end up in a hospital.
My first show ever, I worked with a coach and I was doing things that I knew weren't smart to do the day before the show. But in my head, I'm like, I know this isn't right, but I'm choosing to go along with it because I made it this fucking far. And it went horribly. And I was mad, but I was like, if I didn't go through it 100%, I wouldn't know who. You don't know what was right or what was wrong if you start pulling things at the last minute or start changing things. So I chose, you only get one shot at a fucking first time out at anything. This is my first time being a pro and competing and it went shitty, but it's because I listened to what my coach, and I knew I shouldn't have. And that was like lesson number, you learn lessons as you move along in the sport, but you got to be smart about it too. You can't be.
I have a story like that. Okay.
Hit.
So the second show I did, so the second season, the first show, the guy that helped me, he's like, okay, you're gonna take half a Lasix the day before the show, 20 milligrams. And I'm like, yeah, of course, man. And I'm gonna get really shredded. So I took 3 full Lasix the day before the show, and another one the morning of.
Holy fuck.
And I was man, that's the speed I was able to move. Like,
yeah, it's the worst feeling.
I still won. Okay.
But see, in that case, that's not on the coach. That's on the athlete there.
That's
right.
Yeah.
But Ian, a lot of people will do that and still blame the coach and not admit to doing what Roman just did.
Yeah. All right, one more, and I got to run here.
Yeah. I was going to say we'll do one more and then we're off.
Yeah.
Okay. Can never talk again, or can never have sex or jack off again.
I'm fucked.
I'm silent, writing on paper for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, but wait a minute.
If I can't have sex or jerk off, I can't have kids, and I want to have kids. That's the end of the line.
Are you looking for a loophole with blowjobs?
I found a loophole already. Yes.
Is it blowjobs?
Yes. I'm gonna talk for the rest of my life, and I'm gonna get blowjobs every day. I'm cool.
Yeah, but then for me, I want to have kids, and I can't get Melissa pregnant by busting a load in her mouth. So
yeah, you can.
Was she gonna spit it back out?
Bust a load, get her to give you a blowjob. You bust a load, and you artificially inseminate. You're good.
Does that work? I think you're.
No, I think once am I wrong? Or once semen hits air, it like dies.
It denatures it a lot. Yeah.
No,
really?
Right?
It denatures it a lot. It's not going to kill it. Like
no, because when you get your semen tested, you have to take it in a bag to the fucking place. So it's like it's still alive.
Yes.
No, but I think Ian, right? Once it hits air, like something happens to the semen where like it like suppresses.
Yeah, they'll only survive and they're only going to thrive so much in an open oxygen environment.
Well, yeah, okay, that's cool, but I'm saying
but
like
that's good.
But I'm saying like they're
survive, right?
But I'm saying like yeah. That's right. It's a survival thing. Yeah, you only want the good ones anyway. No, but that's true. Like he could be at the doctor's, get a blowjob, and then give the specimen to the doctor.
Oh, you're gonna have a real fucking you're gonna have a happy wife, getting fucking finger banged for the rest of her life.
Well, you didn't say you can't fucking go down on her.
That's true.
You're that good, huh?
I am that good.
That's one of my favorite pastimes.
I don't mind that at all. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
See, we just both go down on each other, and I still get to speak. You're gonna be silent for the rest of your life.
Who?
Oh no, I'm switching teams here.
You're switching teams.
Yeah.
I convinced Ian.
No, I knew you were going with the blowjob.
This is the first time in this entire podcast history I've been able to change Ian's mind.
No, there's been a couple.
Has there?
Yeah, but usually on small things. This
You
one,
know,
I'm
you know, it
This
took,
one's-
it took a blowjob to change his mind.
Roman, you're going with the blowjob too?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right.
My
All right,
wife-
boys.
We're gonna let Ian go because he's got a show to do. Ian, you're off next week, right?
I don't know. We'll see how I feel. I'm probably good.
Okay, man. I'll shoot you a text. We'll figure it
I
out.
got one more in the tank, I think.
Yeah,
Okay, boys.
come on.
We'll talk next week.
Yeah, we'll see you guys.
Later. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hostile and myself. And lastly, check out hostile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.